Storytelling. 3:45 a.m. Unmarked vehicles take positions. Doors breach almost simultaneously. By dawn, warehouses, safe houses, and covert offices are silent. That cascade began with a single shot during an immigration enforcement action in Minneapolis. We'll walk you through the dominoes, the gunshot, the tunnel leads, the logistics trail to Iowa and Texas, and a ledger that outlined which cases lived or died. Then, the basement, 2 locked rooms beneath a mayor's residence. Follow the exact sequence agents used to collapse a network that looked legitimate on paper until the paper talked. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. One gunshot at a Minneapolis stop flips a switch. Within minutes, 4 command posts light up. Why does a single round move cross-state teams into motion that fast? Because the first line in the field notes isn't the caliber, it's the context flag, tied to a name that the fusion desk already watches. The ICE team logs the incident, pushes a coded update, and that flag pings a standing alert in the FBI system. Minneapolis dispatch forwards a timestamp. The clock starts. At 3:47 a.m., an analyst in a joint center links the field note to a dormant case number. 2 minutes later, a deconfliction portal shows overlapping interest from 3 units: narcotics, financial crimes, and public corruption. That overlap isn't random. It signals shared ground truth, the subject's roots, handlers, or both. The watch officer elevates the posture to amber and sends a hold notice on local arrests attached to the name cluster. Calls hit supervisors' phones. Green lights flicker across 4 states. Confusion rides in first. A patrol sergeant calls it a scuffle gone wrong. Another voice says the driver tried to ditch a bag before contact. A third warns the plate has popped near freight hubs twice this month. Do they treat it like a sideshow or a shield for something bigger? The debate lasts 3 minutes. Then the chain tips toward escalate, not because of emotion, but because the incident matches a sequence from a prior playbook. Late-night movement, courier-grade packaging, and a contact who never uses the same route twice. By 4:10 a.m., unmarked SUVs settle into rally points near Joliet, Council Bluffs, Laredo, and the outer ring of the Twin Cities. Radio cuts shrink from full chatter to clipped acknowledgments. Warrant packets that have sat under seal for weeks populate a queue by address, not by name. The order of execution looks odd on paper. An office before a residence, a warehouse before a storage unit. But the target is throughput, not personalities. Here's how they keep from stepping on each other. A deconfliction system logs every planned hit by time and grid. If 2 teams point at the same door, the software forces a call and a lead assignment. Fusion cells stitch together bank pings, license plate readers, and prior seizures into a traffic map. They don't need a smoking gun to run this play. They need consensus on timing to keep evidence intact and officers clear of crossfire. What they hit fits a familiar shell. Warehouses with drywall that looks new but rests on rails, not studs. Offices with dual ledgers, 1 clean set for taxes, 1 coded set for volume. A transport route that hugs legitimate freight corridors, drawing cover from the noise of normal commerce. The goal is to hide in the blizzard, not outrun the wind. Covert supply lines live in plain sight. Pill presses that pass as industrial stampers, labeling gear that could box vitamins on Monday and schedule fentanyl on Tuesday. Mixing sites with OSHA posters on the wall and safety showers that actually work. Everything looks compliant until you line up shipment timing with overnight docket moves and wire transfers that hop through shells every quarter hour. Agents start where the data lives. Servers first, ledgers next, transport captains last. Names matter, but not tonight. Seize the nodes and you freeze the schedule. Let the paper and the packets name the people when the forensic clocks are ticking and defense counsel hasn't shaped the narrative. By dawn, the silence is designed. Hundreds detained, accounts locked, trailers impounded. Phone trees fail because the captains can't call captains with devices in evidence bags. The routes choke, not the runners, the roads themselves. And in a few of those rooms hit at 3:45 a.m., agents find what the flag hinted at: sealed binders with pricing tables, encrypted drives with docket references, and shipping logs that treat court dates like delivery windows. The stack of documents from that sweep doesn't read like inventory. It reads uphill, toward a ledger that prices outcomes by result, not by hours billed, and it points to who could make those prices stick. A ledger that prices outcomes forces a harder thought. Who can guarantee a result on command? And where did those orders start? The entries don't read like legal work. They read like transactions built to land on a calendar. Agents move from lines on a page to movement on a map, tracing who pays, who carries, and who signs off. Each reference number ties to a courier run, Each note pairs with a docket change. When you stack the timestamps, delays and dismissals keep pace with outbound shipments running south. They follow billing codes out of Minnesota. Watch them hop into Iowa holding companies and then settle into Texas accounts labeled for maintenance and payroll. Couriers run the same loop, trading flash for routine, swiping access at storage sites and office parks that look normal at a glance. Encrypted notes unlock with keys seized at the 3:45 a.m. sweep. Those messages don't debate legality, they schedule it. A dismissal lines up with a truck leaving an Iowa warehouse. A continuance lands hours after a set of transfers clears in Laredo. The map starts to look like a metronome. That rhythm builds a problem. The pattern points to intermediaries and compliant officials, but the names hide behind retainer letters and consulting memos. Shells front for shells. The proof can't sit in spreadsheets alone. It needs a door, a room, a lock that matches the ledger. So they dig into the numbers till a fee schedule emerges. Minor procedural hits sit at the bottom tier. Missed filings, harmless defects, priced like routine nuisance work. Mid-tier costs erase a charge set for trial. At the peak sits appellate relief. Those high numbers track with rare calendar moves and sudden reversals that wipe years of work. Recorded at market rates only a cartel would accept. Financial forensics tightens the line. Banks log triggers when deposits crest in the small hours. Shell entities rotate directors days before hearings. Retainer renewals pop in the week before a motion hearing, then close out the day after the order posts. The money never jumps in one go. It fragments into small pieces, crosses accounts 5 times in a week, and reappears as payroll for crews that don't exist. Real estate carries the weight too. Trusts buy apartments as if for family, then lease them to companies that pay cash, feeding rent back as operating expense. Nothing looks exotic, that's the point. With the paper pointing to a key address already cleared once, teams go back. This time they bring ground-penetrating tools, CO2 sniffers, and a thermal handheld. Airflow shows a dead zone under a staircase. The deck sounds wrong when tapped, too hollow for a solid span. Utility logs show a draw at odd hours. A panel gives way to a corridor you can't see from the main basement. The walls look load-bearing, but seams are off by a finger's width. The handheld shows colder patches that don't match the room's vents. Those rooms match the fee schedule by function. One controls distribution volume, the other signals leverage. The paper priced outcomes because someone could enforce them with both money and people. That link explains why a municipal figure mattered. Access, property control, and a layer of legitimacy to shield movement and delay questions. Investigators weren't hunting faces in the dark. They were matching tiers to doors. Each tier came with a cost, an account, and a space where the outcome could be guaranteed at scale. With assets frozen and the hidden rooms logged, one problem remains. If a single shot knocked the house loose, what stops the rebuild when routine returns?